What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show Recap with Mo, where we're getting ready to get into another episode, break down the Tyler Perry's Ruthless. But before we get into this thing, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss shit snit that's going down, alright? So the episode we're getting ready to get into is for Season 4, Episode number 16, titled Plan in Action. Now, the synopsis states, Mack warns Sheriff Conley about an FBI tactic to take them both down. Lacey begs Zane to take a drastic step toward freedom. Ruth gives Laura advice on how to stay alive at the daggone compound, man. So with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into it. So this episode, starts off wild. So in the previous episode, we saw where Aaron had escaped the police vehicle, busted out the backseat of the car, and then he runs off. So now we're kicking this episode off where we're seeing Aaron in the middle of the woods trying to escape for his daggone life. There's two guys out there hunting deer at this point in time, and they're firing, and they say, "Who is that over there?" So obviously they're ticked off because he scared off the buck that they were after. And of course he stands up. They ask him a little bit of questions about who is he, where is he coming from. As a matter of fact, what do you have behind your back? He was like, I don't have anything behind your back. So one of the guys notices that he has handcuffs on. So they were like, okay, boy, so have you escaped from prison? Like, are you on the run? And he was like, no. Actually, I was kidnapped. They was like, kidnapped? And he was like, yeah, I was kidnapped. So they was like, okay, so explain a little bit, elaborate on that. And he was like, well, I was actually up at the Rockaducey compound. And he was like, oh yeah, we know about them. You one of those freaks, right? And he was like, oh no, my wife is actually still up there. I just need your help. I need your assistance. One of the guys was like, well, unfortunately, it's nothing we can do, because we're actually not too legal ourselves, but you can go on down past the creek and you'll be all right. And he was like, well, can you at least let me use your phone? And old boy was like, I don't think he's hearing me too. I don't think he's hearing me too well, right? So anyhow, long story short, they eventually shoot the handcuffs off of him with that 12 gauge. And I would have been scared as hell. Like, there's no way in the world that I would have turned my back on these two individuals for them to release me. And like one of them was saying as he was running off, he should have delivered them. I was like, no, we don't need to be delivered today. Not today. So anyhow, going on from there, back at the sheriff's office, we see Mack going to visit Sheriff Conley. So when he gets in there, Mack tells Sheriff Conley that they told him that Andrew said that he was involved, right? So, of course, as he's conveying this information to Sheriff Conley, he's also texting him at the same time, asking if the place is secure. Sheriff Conley is like, yes, I've already ran it through the system. There aren't any bugs in here at this point in time. And he was like, are you sure? He was like, look, y'all city folks act like y'all the only ones that know how to do business, all right? But with that being said, once all of that is cleared and they feel like they're in the clear, they have the for real conversation. Close the door. Hey, do you think he's going to give me up? Sheriff Conley's like, well, he hasn't said anything yet. Just leave it alone. Just let the chips fall where they might. And, Sheriff Conley is right. If Andrew hasn't conveyed anything to the FBI agents right now, then he's probably not going to say anything, Mack. But Mack has to make sure that all of his ducks are in a row. So that's the reason why he's nervous about this whole situation, because he knows that he has a lot to lose in this predicament. So anyhow, we head back over to the compound where we see the elder mother herself coming to instruct what's her name, Zane, on what to do with with Lacey over in the laundry trailer, right? But she's telling her to go over there, take her, give her a break or whatnot, make sure to leave the chains on her because I don't trust her, all right? And Zane is like, okay, cool. She's compliant. She does what the elder mother has asked her to do. Now, Bridget is in the kitchen as well, cooking up a meal, and the elder mother tells her that she's heard such great things about her, how she's a loyal subject of the Raku, and Bridget is like, yes, elder mother, I just love the Raku, just putting it on, right? And I'm just shaking my head like, these, man, more like loyal liars? Could we say that instead of loyalty to the Raku? But anyhow, going on from there, as the elder mother is still conversing with Bridget, here comes River. Now, for the past couple of episodes, River has been on fire to defend himself against Peter, who is now back on the compound, and he feels like he's going to tell, right? So instead of him telling, I got to get rid of him before he can say a word, right? And so now River is trying to come in there and, get on the good side of the elder mother. She was like, what do you want? He was like, well, I just wanted to come and talk to you. And, I'm just coming to check in on you and all of this good stuff, kiss, kiss, kiss. And, the elder mother finds a way to take any situation and sit up here and say, oh, you been watching me? Oh, you been watching me, boy? Oh, I'm going to tell the highest about you watching me. And he was like, oh, no, elder mother. I just been noticing the way you've been limping around and just wanted to come and check in on you. And she was like, oh, you like me, don't you? I was like, there's no way in the world that River is going to get past this situation without her trying to say that he's feeling her in some type of way. But anyhow, moving on from there, we head over to the punishment trailer where we see Malcolm and Peter. Now, Malcolm is attempting to get Peter to assist him with escaping from the electric chair. But it doesn't work because Peter isn't interested in listening or assisting this man in escaping at all. And Malcolm knows that. So what he tries to do is try to, confuse him with some rhetoric, right? So he's coming at him like, the highest almost had me. He really did. But unfortunately, I know his past. I know his truth. And I know what he did to all those innocent people and those children. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he was like, oh, they're lies. That's what Peter is saying. You're lying. The highest is not that. And he's like, no, he's absolutely that. And he was like, you will see. But going to get me up out of this chair, G, like, we're going to be good. And we got all these tools in here. We can work it out. Peter's looking around and he was like, no, you're not going to get me out. So I think eventually that, he's going to start to help him. But right now, he has to get through the barrier, right? So anyhow, going on from there, we now see Ruth walking and we see River is waiting on her. So he goes to see her and he tells Ruth that Zane is mad at him. Of course, Ruth is like, okay, what the hell for? Like, what's going on? And he tells Ruth that he told her about the plan that he had with Peter, and that she doesn't trust him any longer. And he's also telling Ruth that the reason why he really didn't tell Zane about the plan is because she wanted to bring a +1. And of course, Ruth is like, who? Right? Who she want to bring? And he was talking about Lacey. He was like, yeah, it's definitely too much money to split up between 5 people. So that's including Ruth, that's including himself, Joan, Zane, and now Lacey. And River's like, no, that's too much. It was already too much for me to split up 3 ways. All right. So I'm definitely not looking to bring along Zane and Lacey. So no, we can leave them here at the compound. So Ruth is like, okay, so if you were going to leave them here, would you be willing to leave Joan? He was like, yeah, I would definitely leave Joan. So she was like, okay, so would you leave me? And he was like, no, I wouldn't leave you because we much more alike and we can actually do a lot of things once we get up out of this compound. Of course, Ruth ain't going for none of that. Ruth already got her own little separate plans. First and foremost, she's waiting on her daughter to get back or the whereabouts of her daughter. Outside of that, she don't give up. You see what I'm saying? About nothing that's going down on this compound, all right? So anyhow, going on from there, we head over to the laundry trailer where we see Zane going to see Lacey. And when she gets there, she notices that Laura is gone. So she asks Lacey where Laura was, and Lacey tells her she went to go to the bathroom or whatnot. So she was like, okay, No, I take that back. She said she went to go look for her husband. And Zane was like, well, that's not good. All right. And she was like, what else could I have said to her? Right. So going on from there, Lacey can tell that something isn't right with Zane right now because of the way that she's responding to her. And Lacey's like, come on, girl. Like, what's good? Like, you're not acting normal. What's good? Tell me what's going on. Zane goes on and tells her about the situation with River, how he had his own plan. Lacey is like, I knew it. I knew I couldn't trust that. You see what I'm saying? I knew it. And she was like, look, girl, I need you to put your big girl shoes on and let's go ahead and make this plan work. Do you know any other security guards you could get close to, to persuade them in some type of way so you can get to where you need to go? And of course, Zane is like, well, the only one that she really knows of on top of her dome is, what's his name, Manny. And she was like, well, go ahead and hit him up. She was like, I can't. She was like, why? Because I hate him. She was like, girl, grow the up. You see what I'm saying? Grow the heck up. Right now, we're trying to get up out of this piece, and you sitting over here talking about what he did to you. She was like, look, the whole daggone compound let one go off in me. So she was like, look, I'm not trying to hear any excuses by any daggone means necessary. She went Malcolm X. She went Malcolm X on that tail, man. Like, by any means necessary, we getting up out of here. So you need to do what you need to do. Go over there, persuade that man to do what you need him to do, and move the heck on. If that doesn't work, then whom else do you got? And she was like, well, I could talk to Lewis. And she was like, well, I don't know if that's going to work either. She was like, why not? She was like, well, what if he goes around and tells Manny the situation because, they cool or whatnot. So I was like, daggone, she in a bad space. So we're going to see how that works out. So anyhow, going on from there, okay, this is when it started to hit the fan because we head over to the bathing area, right? And we see all the ladies out there bathing, and all of a sudden we see Brother Lewis coming out of this little, I don't even know what you want to call it, like this little storage room. I don't know if it's a changing area or not, but he comes out. I don't know how long he's been in there, but obviously he's been scheming. So he comes over there, leans up against, the little booth or whatnot, and he was like, hey, you look good over there. Hey, holla at me. So, old girl is bathing right now. She puts her little towel on, walks over. But the whole thing about this is Sister Bridget herself is standing behind a little partition, and she's checking everything out from the rooter to the tutor. And she was like, I know the hell he ain't. I know he ain't. I bet he not. I bet he better not go in there he better not go in that storage room and close the door. Oh, she better not follow. Oh, she did. Oh. Every little step I take, you will be there. I'm just saying, she is there to see it go down. She can't believe her eyes. And all of a sudden, something going down in the storage room. I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later. But anyhow, going on from there, we head over to the punishment trailers where we see Laura, Sister Laura. Let me be respectful, right? Sister Laura is outside of the punishment trailers walking through, trying to find her husband. Now, she just so happens to walk up into one of the punishment trailers, one specifically with Peter and Malcolm sitting in the chair. And they're like, oh, help us. And Peter's like, no, get out. Malcolm is like, no, are you here to clean me? She was like, clean? He was like, yeah, are you here to bathe me? And I guess, because that was my main question. Brother Malcolm been sitting up there a mighty long daggone time in that same daggone chair. Ain't been washed? Boy, I know it's dead. It's dead wrong off in that piece, man. It's funky. Man, listen. I don't know how Peter is doing that. That's probably why he's telling him to shut up right now. But anyhow, going on from there, Laura runs up out of that piece because she was like, look, I'm sorry. I can't take it. I'm looking for my husband. Neither one of y'all are it, and I gotta go. So anyhow, she closes the door back up, and as soon as she turns to walk off, she runs into Sister Ruth. Now, Sister Ruth is like, what the hell you doing? Like, what you doing around this punishment trailer? She was like, she's trying to look down. She doesn't want Ruth to notice that she's cleared right now. She's not fuzzy in her mindset. So she starts to look down, and she was like, well, I was actually looking for my husband. She was like, okay, but he's not over here. He's actually woo, woo, woo. So she goes on to tell her, about that whole little situation. But then she says, look at me. And when she looks at her, she was like, "You're clear?" And she was like, "Yes." She was like, "Well, how did you get clear?" And she was like, "Well, Zane and Lacey told me not to, eat the elder mother's food and all of that, right?" And she was like, "Yes, I'm going to help you. All right, I need you to understand I'm going to help you. You need to do all of this stuff that they've already conveyed to you because I'm not going to repeat it right here and now." Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that she's been told before, that's exactly what Ruth tells her, right? And she was like, "Look, you need to get up out of here, play the game, because the highest can tell when you're not under the influence, all right? So do what you need to do to survive and get your tail up out of here, right?" So anyhow, going on from there, we see after Laura leaves and walks off, Ruth then goes inside of the same trailer and she pretty much tells Peter, like, to stay strong. Hold on. And a change is coming. Hold on. Be strong. A change is coming. Hold on. Be strong. A change is coming. So, of course, when she leaves, because that's all she says, she's not talking to Malcolm. She's talking directly to Peter, trying to relay a message to him like, "Bro, we are on your side. Just be strong and hold on." When she leaves, Malcolm's like, "What the hell was that?" Because that's all she said. Peter's like, "Look, you don't know what that was about. Matter of fact, you don't even know who she is or what she's about to become." Malcolm is like, "I don't give a two daggone roll pop what she is or who she is, right? What I know is she's a, you know what I'm saying, and he used the B word. I don't use that on my channel, but I'm just trying to tell you what he said, right?" And he was like, "Man, she's the soon-to-be wife of the highest." He was like, "Man, I don't give two F's, man. I'm just being honest. I really don't. All right, I'm trying to get up out of here. Might as well, like, go on and do what you need to do, man. You over there doing all that talking, man. Let your feet do the walking." So anyhow, going on from there. Next we see the highest and Daikon and of course Joan getting into the van. All right, so they've left their final destination. They picked up the money. The highest wants to know why they were not able to get all of the money. Daikon tells him that he believes that they have enough, and like time is running a little bit too short at this time because he feels like they're on the trail of the highest and the compound. So he was like, "Look, I think we got enough to do what we need to do." The highest is like, "No, it's not enough. I need exactly what I want so we can do what we need to do and don't have to come back and get any more." All right? Because I've already found a place. It's a beautiful place. It's a hotel. The kids are already there. You got a playground and all of this good stuff. And of course, Daikon's in his feelings right now because he was like, "So you already found the place?" He was like, "Yeah, I just told you I just found the place." He was like, "But you didn't tell me." The highest is like, "I don't have to tell you nothing." And of course, Daikon sits there and he's like, "Yes, your highest. Yes, your highest." And I'm just tripping because because Daikon goes to the highest degree to appease this man, but this man shows him no respect at all. So anyhow, going on from there, getting back to what the highest was conveying to Daikon about the hotel, he was like, "Look, we need exactly 1.7 million to purchase the property right out. We're going to actually rent out the rooms down below so we can actually have, generating income from the hotel as well. And then also the opportunity, to bring in new members to the compound, right?" So it sounds good, but you know how that goes with him. So anyhow, Daikon is like, "Yes, your highest." So, I guess we'll see how that goes, right? So anyhow, going on from there, we head back over to the compound where Zane goes to see Manny. Now, she's coming outside of the gate. Manny is like, "What the hell you doing out here?" And she was like, "Look, I came to see you." He was like, "Well, you need to get back into the gate." He was like, "Why are you out here?" She was like, "Look, you were right." He was like, "Right about what?" She was like, "You were right. We were meant to be together." He was like, "What are you talking about, Zane?" She was like, "Look, I want you. And I just want you to treat me well. I don't want you to do the disgusting things you were doing to me previously. And I want you to be with me." And he was like, "You do not know that my love below is messed up because of you? Because of the Raku?" Well, he doesn't believe that anymore, right? So she was like, "Look, You don't need all of that down there to do what I need you to do. He was like, look, man, get the heck away from me. So, I understand why he upset, but he can't be too upset because of what he was doing to her. If he would have came to her respectfully at first, maybe she would have given in to him, giving him some of the love below, and maybe he would be, better off in this situation. But, maybe that's why she doesn't like you, Zane. But now you want to be pissed off at her, telling her to move on, but you were the reason why all of this went down to begin with, at least with that, right? So she was like, look, I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to wait on you. And then she lays her head on his shoulders, right? And looks at him and winks at him and then walks off, and you can almost hear, until the end of time, I'll be there for you. You are my heart and mind. I truly adore you. If God would days struck me blind, your beauty I still see. Love is too easy to define what you mean to me. I said, I feel it. I feel it. Maybe there is a love connection here. I mean, just maybe, right? But since we're talking about a love connection, there's definitely not a love connection going on over here on the other side of the compound, where we see Sister Bridget going to confront Lewis and Bathsheba in the storage closet, right? Because when she gets over there to the storage closet, she opened that thing up. She's sitting on his lap, and he was like, let me go on and get up out, girl. No, it's too late, homie. She done ran up on you now, man. It's too late. Anyhow, she was like, I knew it. Yeah, you knew it because you saw it when it went down. You should have went over there initially and said, what is this? Before he even got into action, but you went ahead and got him in it. So anyhow, he's trying to chase her, and she runs past Ruth. Ruth is over there like, what the hell you doing, Lewis? He was like, man, he trying to get to Bridget, but he was like, man, she saw me. She was like, saw you doing what? Oh, man, she saw me in the storage closet with another chick. I was like, oh, daggone. And Ruth is like, damn, man, you couldn't keep it in your pants till we get up out of this piece? And he was like, look, man, I'm sorry. And Ruth is like, she better not mess it up for nobody over here. And he was like, no, I promise she won't do that. But can you talk to her? Ruth is like, damn, like, okay, I'll talk to her. But you gotta be mindful of all of this, right? So while she's in the midst of conversing with Lewis and all of this good stuff, here comes the elder mother. The elder mother's like, Ruth. And when she comes over there, she notices that Lewis is zipping up his pants and whatnot. He's fixing his britches. And she was like, oh, what are you doing? And why is he fixing... why is he fixing his pants, right? So when she sees all of that, Ruth has to come up with a scheme at this point. She has to come up with a plan at this point. And she's like, look, you slipping. She was like, what are you talking about? You are slipping. Like, he just told me, he was supposed to be at the post, but, he had to run back and forth to the bathroom, the outhouse or whatnot, because, your food is giving him the runs or whatnot. The elder mother's like, you lie. Not my food. She was like, yes, elder mother. And then she tells Lewis to run on, and he acts like he has to go defecate, right? So I was like... that was pretty good, Ruth. So going on from there, she and the elder mother go back and forth. And the elder mother is like, she's looking to the heavens and she's calling upon the Raku to assist her because she really wants to put hands on Ruth, but she knows what the highest has conveyed to her, not to put any hands on her, but she really wants to. So she's calling upon the Raku to do her dirty business for her, right? Lord, help me. Oh, help me. So anyhow, going on from there, we see Joan and Daikon riding in the back of the van. The highest is now sitting on the passenger side of the van, riding in the front. So Joan talks to Daikon about how she admires how, he looks after the highest and all of this good stuff. Whoa. Daikon goes on to tell her that he was actually watching her today, how good and thorough she was with the numbers and conveying this information to the bank. And it was almost so flirtatious that she almost believed it herself to a certain extent, because her body language was like, okay, he giving me a vibe that I'm feeling right now. Or maybe it was all lies, because we know all of these people right here lie all daggone day, right? So she was like, yes, I just really love my job. I've been doing it all my life, and I just really want everything to go well and all of this good stuff. And Daikon is like, really? And she was like, yes, I absolutely do. And all of this for the highest and for the Raku. I just love it. And he was like, all right, so could you explain to me what is this? And he pulls this device out, shows her the device with the account on there that has over $1 million in it, right? So anyhow, going on from there now, we head over to the compound once again, and we see River in the daggone kitchen. Now, he's over there in that closet where they had already told him where the good stuff was. So he's up there on the top shelf looking, damn, where is it? Is that it? No, that ain't it. So while he over there looking, he hears the elder mother herself in the kitchen. So of course he has to hide. But this Negro hides in a place where he could be seen by Stevie Wonder. All right? So, so he hiding, and the elder mother comes straight back there to the closet because he left the door ajar. So, of course, she was going to come back there, and she's talking about she's going to get rid of the baby. There will be no baby. And all of this stuff talking about Ruth and her pregnancy, right? So, she's mad. She's upset, and she wants to take away the pregnancy so she can do as she will towards Ruth, all right? So, while she's back there in that closet, she's mad, and she's spinning around, and she sees Brother River hiding behind a canister. And she was like, what are you doing? Get up. And that's the end of the daggone episode. Listen. For me, I don't know about y'all, I enjoyed the episode. Maybe because I am a Ruthless fan over the Oval and all of that good stuff. But I like the way that the show is running. There are some areas in there that I would change. But for the most part, it kept me interested in what was about to go down, what was next to come. So with that being said, man, see y'all next time. I will talk to y'all soon. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so y'all don't miss shit that's going down. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.